So AlphaEvolve, we discussed this a little bit in the previous lecture, but the idea is that input to it, you have an evaluation function, and you have some existing, usually a subpar solution to the problem. And the idea is you want to get it to find a better solution. And the existing solution is represented as code. Actually, the evaluation function is also represented as code. So this uses an evolutionary approach, but here we rely on the large language model to generate candidate solutions. So just the way the last two papers used an RNN to generate candidate solutions, here we're using a language model. Now, this is a much more general problem than symbolic regression, but what you don't get that you got with symbolic regression is these nice closed form equations. You actually get code that could, be more, code is, of course, can be much longer and more difficult to understand. Here's again from the earlier slide. This is with traditional genetic programming. You pick this index at random or some other method, and you're combining two samples from the prior generation. With LLM-guided genetic programming, you can do a lot more interesting things because you can have prompts designed to combine these things. So you create a set of prompts. For each prompt P, you can use the prior results that have high fitness as context. You can generate a set of results from each prompt P and take the best results for that generation. Using the prior results as context also has some other advantages that we'll talk about. But one is that you could directly build on the code. You could look at developing code in a hierarchical manner, where maybe something from the previous generation could solve some simpler cases of a problem. And then just by adding an if statement, you could maybe identify the cases where you don't want to apply that initial approach while still retaining its benefits. And then it can address other special cases in the next generation of programs. We've talked a lot about RL today. So why are we suddenly using genetic algorithms here? Well, I think a key consideration is diversity. And even with taking the top epsilon percentile of solutions, you're still limiting your search space to things that are close to locally optimal in a given iteration. With a genetic algorithm type approach, you can have a much wider population and encourage diversity in solutions while still maintaining computational efficiency. So let's look at some examples. So here is an example of some code input. This is what the user would provide. So here's the existing solution to evolve. And then here the evaluation function provided as a function in Python. And so here's what generated prompt looks like. So it includes the existing solution to evolve in the prompt. And then it might grab one of the better performing solutions from the last generation. That's kind of how the crossover here works. We also have some special additional instructions on how to format the output. In particular, those of you who've done a lot of software development work will find this familiar as seeing output as a diff. There's some other interesting things that can be done here. So that I've highlighted in this other box. One of them in particular is the evolution of the prompt itself, and the authors talk about co-evolution of the prompt with the solution to the problem, which is kind of neat. So you could think of the crossover function as you iterate through itself is getting potentially better. So here's the LLM output. And so that's in the format of a diff. So we see that we're having 3 neural layers being replaced with 6 neural layers that have a little bit different structure. So with the evaluation function, you can have a cascade of evaluation functions. So this can cause, so if you have less promising solutions that are, say, totally off and not viewed to be contributive at all, those can be pruned early. You can get LM feedback on solution quality, such as simplicity can be graded by the LM itself. Using multiple evaluation criteria. So we could say a given solution may exhibit certain characteristics of an alternative evaluation metric that may be useful to keep in that population for further evolutions. And it can even evolve heuristic search algorithms. And this is what I was talking about before, where you could have a prior generation could actually be a starting point, and AlphaEvolve can directly work on it to improve. And what you can see in the final solution is it will become a sequence of these heuristics to solve the problem. So results, probably one of the most notable results was AlphaEvolve was able to improve over Strawson's algorithm for 4x4 matrices, reducing the operations from 49 to 48. It, you know, in addition to results like this for other mathematical problems, the people at DeepMind also use it for real-world problems such as data center scheduling, kernel optimization, and optimizing training runs.